Another new feature is to turn SOP points right into USD Lights in Solaris. Incredibly handy to have, especially if you have a scene with a lot of lights, and you can create them procedurally in SOPs. So here I have this little heart shape. Now let's go into SOPs. This is a SOP net embedded inside Solaris, so it's just a SOP. It's just a SOP net. This is something we should all be familiar with. It's just plain geometry. It's a curve. Can't see that very well. Let me turn on guide point. Let me turn this up. Oh, there it is. It's actually in front of me. Okay. There you go. Okay. So this is a curve that I made in the shape of a heart. Resample it. Why is it transforming? Why am I moving it? It's because I'm trying to match the scene and put this on the wall on the back. So I brought in the LOP net by using a LOP import so I could see what I'm doing, like actually physically see the scene. The normals are only there for this ray, which is a projection. So I'm projecting this onto the back wall using the normals of this flat, plain heart shape. And that's what these normals are for. It's just to get the flat direction. And add SOP just so to delete all the geometry, the polygons. I don't need that. I only need the points because we're going to turn these points into lights using this new handy USD configure prim from points. That's a huge name. It's quite a name. But here, it will take all these SOP points and they'll turn it into lights into Solaris. So once these points get imported into Solaris, it automatically picks up the light because of all the attributes it throws in here. So you'll see here that this new Houdini 21 node will add this path, which will be the prim path in Solaris, and it tells it what USD type it is. Like this is supposed to be a sphere light. Like if you don't like a sphere light, you can have a disc light. You can have a rectangular light. You can have a distance light, whatever you choose over here. Now, once you import this, go to Solaris. Where is my heart? Oh, it's right here. So this over here automatically turns it into light. Nothing special. This is just a SOP import. These are all default settings. Nothing special. But if you come here into the scene graph, you can see everything has this little sphere light little icon indicating that it is a light. And it says right here as well. And these are physical lights. They cast shadows, they emit light. They're not just emissive. So emissive material is just glow. They don't cast shadows, they don't shine, they don't behave as a physical light. But these are physical lights. So that's a neat thing about this. But it doesn't end there. You can also manipulate other attributes in SOPs. Hop into SOPs. Let me throw down, bring this up. I want to throw down an attribute randomize. And this should automatically just randomize the color. So I know you don't see that very well, but it's there. I'm going to pop this out and let's go back to Solaris and we have random light colors. If I modify the seed global scale, okay, you can also change the scale and that will make it even brighter. I will change it back to 2. Let's not go too big on it. Okay, let me see the seed value. Okay, let's change the color. There we go. So the attributes directly affect it. And if point attributes directly affect how Solaris understands what lights to create, what happens if we manipulate the P scale? Now let's go P scale. And this is 1 unit. Let's go with a per lin. And we can do it live. So you can see some of the lights are a lot smaller and larger. Let's make all of them bigger. Control it. This is very useful. I mean, this is a static heart shape. Yeah, you can create static lights, but I also tried it with a pop net. And that was the more exciting part. Although my scene got really heavy, so I had to take it out. It was taking a long time to render. Let me get a good camera view. There used to be a pop simulation, particle simulation right in the middle right here. That's why there's that empty space there. So let's see. So let's go over here. Now, one sad thing is that the lights don't support motion blur. And that's one of the things I really wanted in rendering my pop net turned into USD lights, is that I really want motion blur. I know that's a little blobby. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, just give it a while. Okay, let me connect it with the rest of the scene. which may take a while because I am recording at the same time that this is rendering. Okay, let's go back down here. Render this. Come on. The big huge blobs is my attempt to get motion blur out of all this, which I'll explain in just a bit. This works really nice with PopNet simulations. However, motion blur is not available. But if you look over here, you can see that the lights from the PopNet is actually casting or shining light, casting light or global illumination onto the picture frame. So it is contributing more light into the scene, which is amazing because they are physical lights. Because this is actually moving. I know you don't see it right now, but let me go in here, and this is, okay, there's a lot going on here because the Vellum simulation is also running. So it is a little slow, but this is what the PopNet is doing. Now, my attempt to get motion blur was to import another group of the exact same points. Motion blur. Okay, here it goes. I had to turn down the scale a bit. So you can see that there's motion blur going on a bit here. Now I'll turn it off so you can see the difference. This over here, they're very sharp edges around the circles. But once I connect my second batch of clone particles, you can see that it is a little fuzzy. So there's motion blur being activated. So that's my little way of getting motion blur. You have to remember to make these really small so it's not showing up, and you have to turn off the shadow casting of these particles because this second batch of particles are not lights, they're actual geometry, they're particle geometry, so they're gonna cast a shadow onto the wall. And I'll show you. You can turn off shadow casting in the render geometry settings using this parameter over here, using this parameter, the minus shadow in the render geometry settings right here, or just click invisible to primary rays will get you this option, or you can just type it in. Now let me disable that and you'll see what I mean. All right, yeah, now you're starting to see a lot more of the dots at the back right here. Okay, now let me put this back on, the disabling shadows option. Now you can actually see the shine of the lights, the global illumination. Because the physical particles were actually in the same spot as the lights, it was actually blocking some of the light rays.